Welcome to the Trip Tales podcast with me, Kelsey Graves. Let's jump into a new episode exploring a vacation destination that you'll want all the details about. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 21 of Trip Tales. I'm super excited about today's episode because we are talking about a place that is great to visit in late summer or fall, and that's Wild Dunes Resort on Isle of Palms, just outside Charleston, South Carolina. I've been to this resort once over one of our fall breaks, and we fell in love with the resort and Isle of Palms overall. And my guest today, Tiffany, has been to Wild Dunes Resort 3 times, so she clearly loves it and will have a lot of great information for us today. So let's get to it. Welcome to the Trip Tales podcast, Tiffany. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We always start with a rapid fire get to know you. So tell everyone where you live, what you do, and about your family or travel partner.
So my name is Tiffany. I'm a realtor. I live in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, so just about 20 minutes east of Nashville. It's just me and my husband and our dog Henry. He's a Shih Tzu.
Oh,
But
Henry.
we love to travel. It's just the two of us, and sometimes Henry tags along. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about Wild Dunes. We've been there several times. I was there a couple of times with my best friend, and then now I dragged my husband along, and it's kind of a yearly trip for us. So.
Perfect. So I first heard about Wild Dunes Resort when I put a call out on my Instagram. By the way, on Instagram, I'm just my name, Kelsey_Graves, about some places we were considering visiting for a fall break back in 2022. And one of the places I shared that we were thinking about visiting was Charleston. And a friend of mine who used to live in Charleston started DMing me and sharing all these great spots. And ultimately, she told me that if we were booking a trip with a family to that area and wanted great pools and beach access, she would 100% stay at Wild Dunes Resort. Shout out Danielle for introducing me to this awesome resort. I'd never heard of it. I knew nothing about it, but I started doing my research and everything looked great. So we booked it for fall break 2022. I know you've been several times, like you said, but do you remember how you first found out about Wild Dunes Resort or the Isle of Palms area?
My best friend, we roomed together in college, and we were looking for something to do. And it was kind of over fall break. So we decided to go to Charleston. And we stayed in like the North Charleston area, did a lot of the tours and things like that. And we just loved the vibe of Charleston. And we're like, we have to go back, but let's do a beach thing. So I think it was just through Google that we come to find Wild Dunes that very first time. So she and I have been 3 times maybe. That's been several years ago. So my husband and I go every year now for our anniversary if we don't plan a bigger trip.
Nice. So for those who haven't been before, we'll share a little bit about how magical Isle of Palms is. So Isle of Palms is a tiny, slender barrier island just off the coast of South Carolina. It's known for its like white sandy beaches, relaxed restaurants and resorts, beautiful beach homes, and obviously lots of palm trees. I just remember Isle of Palm, like driving around it, feeling super chill, so relaxed, huge, gorgeous beaches that dogs were playing on. It's actually a dog-friendly beach, which is super cool. You can look it up on the Isle of Palms website, but there are time frames where people can have their dogs out there. It didn't seem crazy. There was never like a million dogs. It didn't seem like unsafe. It just seemed like a lot of residents who were walking the beach with their dogs. We found starfish in the water. Everything about it just felt so magical. So how would you describe Isle of Palms overall?
I think you hit the nail on the head. It's definitely magical. I think Charleston and then Isle of Palms in particular, it just has a different vibe. It's very nice without being stuffy, if that makes sense. It's just so comfortable.
Yes. It's like on Isle of Palms, there's not a lot of big, tall resorts. Everything's very low. So you don't get that like Florida feel where there's like a ton of high-rise resorts or anything. And there's all these like overhanging palm trees. It just feels so relaxed and chill. But yes, nice, exactly what you said, but not like you don't belong there. You definitely feel immediately relaxed and everything's so lovely and nice, but you don't feel like out of place.
Right, like along the beach where Wild Dunes is, it's mostly private homes adjacent to that. So, like you said, you don't get like the high-rise condo feel. It really feels like you moved there for the week. There are
Yeah.
so many residents there, so it's just different.
It's very comforting. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about getting there. So we drove from Nashville when we went. It's a little bit over 8 hours, which wasn't too bad. That's kind of my max sometimes for driving. So do y'all typically fly or drive to Isle of Palms?
So we usually drive as well. That's kind of a husband decision. I would fly everywhere. But I get to be the passenger princess and take naps and read and choose the music and all that stuff. So it works out. But I'm the same. 8 hours is definitely kind of my max. But we kind of like having a vehicle there. That's part of it, and not having to do a rental and just being able. Sometimes we'll stop off somewhere else in South Carolina and break the trip up and spend the night. So that's what we do as well, is just drive.
Yeah, we did that. We stopped along the way, I think on the way there, and then on the way home, we just like went for it. We stopped in Greenville, South Carolina once and showed the kids like the Capitol and just kind of ran around there. So there are good stopping points along the way if you want. Let's get into the details about this resort. So Wild Dunes is a large, sprawling resort with two lovely hotels, the Sweetgrass Inn and the Boardwalk Inn, and then quite literally thousands of beach houses and beach condos. I actually checked the resort last night or the resort website last night, and it said Wild Dunes has 2,135 vacation homes and condos. So plenty of properties to choose from. When we went, we booked a 2 or 3 bedroom beach house condo directly through the Wild Dunes website. It will kind of redirect you to destinationhotels.com, but it's all part of Hyatt. Wild Dunes is part of Hyatt. Destination Hotels is like one of Hyatt's websites that allows you to search through vacation rental homes, and you can actually even use Hyatt points here. So just a note for that. But there are tons of little beach house condo areas, almost like separate little, I don't want to say neighborhoods, but little areas with like kind of a different builder vibe in each of the little offshoots. And when we arrived to ours, we were thrilled. It was cute and clean and had a beautiful screened in porch. It was walkable to all the pools, restaurants, and the beach. That is something you do want to look at. It's very sprawling. So you kind of want to take note of where this beach rental is, because I have read some reviews where people felt like they were too far from everything. So just make sure you take note of how close you are to the main pools and the beach walkway. Um, but we couldn't have been happier, and it allowed us to spread out, have a full kitchen to cook some meals. But tell us about where you stay when you visit Wild Dunes.
So we always stay at the Boardwalk Inn. Like you said, they have two hotels. The Boardwalk Inn was the original hotel that's there, and then the Sweetgrass is a little newer, but it's a little bit. It's I wouldn't say it's too far from the beach, but it is farther than the Boardwalk Inn. The Boardwalk Inn is adjacent to the boardwalk, and it's a quick, easy walk to the beach. And you can get some horizon beach views from rooms there as well. So that's where we always stay. We just like being able to have our room refreshed every day, and go for that kind of feel. But like you said, there's so many options that are right on the beach, and those are nice. And again, like you said, it is sprawling, so make sure that it's close. I think you can rent through maybe Vrbo or Airbnb, as well as some of them are managed by the resort itself as well. But we
Yeah,
love
I
staying.
noticed that last night when I was doing my research again, that there were quite a few units on, I guess it's Vrbo. I always still want to say VRBO, but Vrbo, Airbnb, you can look there and also just rent directly through an owner, I think. So there's a lot of options. I walked into the Sweetgrass Inn, which that's their brand new hotel. It was built in 2021. It was so beautiful and nice. I have pictures on my phone, but it was like just
Gorgeous.
very upscale, gorgeous decor. Like that was the one place where I was like, I don't know if we should stay here with my like little kids, but it looked amazing. So if you are going for like a special getaway or like you said, like an anniversary, I do think looking into the Sweetgrass would be worth it, because I looked up the prices of, and they all seem similar. Sweetgrass, Boardwalk, and even a lot of the rental properties for when I was looking for, I think like our upcoming fall break, and it all hovered around $400 a night. I'm sure seasonally things change, things get more expensive, cheaper, but that kind of seemed to be the vibe when I did a quick search last night. So what is the boardwalk in like the hotel vibe like when you walk into that one?
So it kind of gives you the old school Charleston beach vibe to me. I will say that I don't usually see a lot of kids in that hotel. So I don't know if I just like haven't noticed, or it's the time of year that we've been going, because we usually go in mid-May. Um, but I don't feel like there's a lot of kids at that one. So again, I don't know. I do know
Yeah.
that the pool that's adjacent to that hotel, that you can get pool views and ocean views from your room. That pool is adults only, so that may also contribute to that. So I think Sweetgrass may be a little more kid friendly. I know that they have a few things over there for kids.
Yeah, I did notice there two pools by the boardwalk in, one that's adults only and one that's family friendly, or is there only one pool?
Oh, I want to say that there's two.
Yeah, I feel like there's two, and one's adults only and one's family friendly, but those are separate from the main big pool area, which is just in front of Sweetgrass Inn, and they're all not that far from each other. You can, bounce between them and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, absolutely. It's most of that, like the two hotels and the restaurants, are very walkable to each other in the beach.
Yes. But yeah, Boardwalk Inn is more on the beach, whereas Sweetgrass is kind of tucked back, kind of in the hub of the resort, I would say. When we stayed, they were running like a book 3 nights, get the fourth free. And I remember it being like, I was like surprised at the price. I was like, oh, this isn't so bad for like a long weekend trip.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I think it's very reasonable for what you get. I guess that's different for everybody what's reasonable, but I
true.
feel like it is. I think so. We had a room on the top floor, balcony. You've got a little bit of ocean view, pool view, and then the boardwalk. And I want to say, of course, the rate, because we stayed for a week or a little bit longer, so it varied depending on the day. But I think the average rate was like 470 a night.
Okay. That sounds nice. A balcony and a partial ocean view and a pool view. And then are there any restaurants right there by the boardwalk, or are you pretty much walking back over to the main hub area?
No, so there is Coastal Provisions in the Boardwalk Inn. So it's kind of like a steakhouse, seafood kind of place. And then there's the, what's it called? Beachside Bar and Grill, I think is what it's called. That's like on the boardwalk on the beach.
Okay, let's talk about the overall grounds. So, like I was saying, there's a central hub. That's kind of what it feels like to me, with a main pool, which was lovely. There's like a little mini fountain splash pad area with like little kind of bubbling fountains where kids can run around. There's a large pool, a large hot tub, which was really nice. Poolside dining, a restaurant, bar, and grill, a super cute taco truck, strips of shops and restaurants, kind of like a long walkway of shops and restaurants. And from this main pool, there is a walkway, boardwalk straight out to the beach, which is also super nice because we would like go to the beach for a little while, come back. We did bring a wagon since we drove, which was super helpful. And so we'd walk out to the beach for a while and then we'd come back and rinse off at the poolside showers and then spend some time at the pool. And then, like we said, there's a couple other pools scattered throughout the grounds. So, what are some of your favorite things to do at the resort in terms of beach, pool, anything else?
We really stay on the beach for the most part during the day. I think we've only went to the pool a couple of times. We just really love being on the beach. The restaurant that's there on the boardwalk and on the beach, I think it's called Beachside Burger or Beachside Bar and Grill. Um, they do beach service too. I wouldn't say I would 100% depend on it because it's not super like consistent. I think it just depends on how many people they have, but they'll come down and get drink orders or food orders as well. So that's kind of nice. And then it's super easy to just leave your chairs sitting and go back up there to the pool because there's two pools there on either side of the bar and grill. That's kind of where we hang out, but we usually go to the other restaurants that's there too. There's Hudson's Market. That's in that strip that you mentioned. There's like a gallery, some retail shops, a candy shop in the Hudson's Market. We grab breakfast there a lot. Um, and they have, just if you've forgotten something, that's kind of the place to head to if you've forgotten something you need to buy, but you will pay for it.
Yes. I love
um,
that. I love a vacation where your biggest decision each day is beach or pool. Like, that's my favorite thing when you're like, should we do the beach or the pool first? And that's like the only decision you have to make for the day.
yes, exactly. Where are we getting our sun today?
Yes. In that strip of restaurants you were talking about, we also loved Coastal Crust, which is kind
Yes.
of at the very end by a big fire pit. And it's just a large pizza and pasta restaurant. And it's just easy for a big group or a family. Our kids are super happy there. And then as we would finish up dinner, they'd run out to the fire pit and just kind of hang out. I believe one night we made s'mores. I can't remember if we like bought our own stuff or if they had it out there, but I feel like there was s'mores happening. Like, it was just a very sweet little strip of restaurants and shops.
Yeah, that's a cool area with the fire pit, and I think there's a fountain like down below that too.
Yes. And we never had an issue getting a pool chair over fall break, which surprised me because it seems like, I mean, I guess not everybody has a fall break, but I felt like it was going to be really busy. And I was like, oh, we can totally get pool chairs every day. There wasn't like a fight for them. How do the beach chairs work? Do those come with your stay or do you have to pay a little extra for them?
Yeah, they have rentals that you can book in advance. I think we did 5 or 6 days. And it was like around $300 for 2 chairs and an umbrella. So it's nice because, it's already down there waiting for you.
Yeah.
You don't
So
have to
take
worry
note of
about
that. If you want beach chairs, go ahead and like check out the website and make sure you reserve those ahead of time. Um, but I do believe a lot of the condos might come with beach chairs too. And then if you brought a wagon or if they had a wagon, you could probably stroll those out there as well. So just kind of take note of what you'll need for the beach. Um, like I was saying before, the beach was so dreamy. It's very wide and gorgeous. I'm going to put some pictures on my Instagram to remind people because I was looking through them last night and I was like, it reminds me, maybe it's the East Coast thing, but we lived in New England for a little while up in Boston, and it reminded me of those beaches. Just like the tides are very dramatic. Like when the
it.
um tide goes out and you're at low tide, there is just like
So much
it's like
beach.
dreamy. So much beach, all these little pools sparkling in the sunlight. We found so many starfish. I don't know if it was just the time of year, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is a literal dream.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. So the resort has quite a bit of other things like tennis, pickleball, golf, a spa, paddleboarding, kayaking. Have y'all done any of this there?
We haven't. We're lazy on vacation. We're not very active.
I love it. Hey, you're there to relax. You're not there to do a bunch of other things.
Rent bicycles too, I think, which I think we may do next year just because the grounds are so beautiful.
Yeah, like cover a lot of ground and kind of see the whole resort from a bike.
Hmm.
That would be
Yeah.
fun.
So we
Um,
haven't ventured out to the golf course. They have a nice golf course. We haven't really ventured out there, and they have another restaurant out there on the golf course too, and like a sports bar.
yes, I've seen that on the website. We didn't venture out that way either, but my son is starting to pick up golf. So maybe we'll have to start adding golf to our vacations, although it just sounds long and expensive.
Yes.
Okay, do you guys always go into Charleston when you stay at Wild Dunes?
We do. So I would say that's something to kind of take note of because it's maybe what would you say, like a 30-minute drive,
Yeah,
something like that.
2030.
Terrible, but I know some people are like, oh, that's so far from Charleston, but to me, it's not. To be able to do the beach and then to do Charleston too, I think it's like such a win. But we do go in and usually have dinner a couple of nights. There's a place we go for lunch. Sometimes we've done ghost tours. We've done the Fort Sumter tour. Um, there's so many cool things. Boone Hall Plantation's fun. That was in what was the movie? It was a Nicholas Sparks book.
Is it like The Notebook?
Yeah, The Notebook. Yes.
Okay. I was
Yeah,
like,
so
I feel like Nicholas Sparks, The Notebook. Okay. That's
yeah, so
cool.
Boone Hall Plantation, the house there, I think was Allie's parents' house in the movie. So that's cool to see that. There's just so much history and so many fun things. The Rainbow Row of Houses, that's fun to go to.
Hey guys, I wanted to quickly share about a cool way you can support the show. Travel content creating and podcasting is so fun. But as you travel lovers know, traveling can get expensive. While I may receive trades from time to time, the flights, the behind the scenes hours filming, editing, recording, and sharing are often unseen and unpaid. There is this super cool website called buymeacoffee.com that was created specifically as a way to support creators like me. Buying Me a Coffee is a quick and simple way to show your support for the Trip Tales podcast. And Lord knows this busy Mama 3 could use a coffee to keep me recording and sharing, and maybe help with the grocery bill as well. I'll also give a special shout out by name to anyone who buys me a coffee in the following week's episode. So if you love Trip Tales, I'll put the link in the show notes, or you can get there by visiting buymeacoffee.com/Kelsey Graves. Thank you for considering supporting the show. And King Street was just
Yeah.
amazing. I'd never been to Charleston and I was like, this is so cute. Actually, I like want to book a trip back just with my husband because there were so many places, shops, restaurants, bars, hotels that I just wanted to pop into. And I'm like, I need to go back and explore this whole King Street without
Yeah,
children.
I love it. No, I love it. It's and the streets are so pretty with like the cobblestone and all of that. It's just again, it's a vibe.
It's such a vibe. And
Yeah.
everybody was dressed so cute. I like missed the memo
Mhm.
that you're supposed to dress super cute in Charleston. I don't know what I
Yeah.
was thinking. So we were in like athletic wear, like, black shorts and like a workout t-shirt. And
Mhm.
I was like, oh my gosh, all these girls look so flipping cute in their
Yep.
dresses and their cool designer bags. And I was like, I'm
I
here with
know.
my children. I need to come back with a
Like
long
I get a
flowy
pass.
dress and a cool purse.
Yeah.
It
And
was
like anything
definitely a
goes in
vibe.
yeah, I feel like everything goes in Nashville. Like you just never know what you're gonna see when you go out, whether it's on Broadway or a fancy restaurant. It doesn't you're gonna see all things, but in Charleston, yeah, everybody's kind of dressed up.
Yes. And that is kind of to what you were saying before. Charleston is such a vibe. And I was like, I don't want to say I felt out of place, but like I said, if I went back, I would definitely kind of dress the part just for fun. But over on
Mhm.
Isle of Palms, it doesn't feel like that. It's much more
Yeah.
chill, a lot of residents in there, comfy clothes with their dogs. So that is the nice thing about heading over to Isle of Palms. It's just like super chill and relaxed.
Yes, absolutely. I would agree.
And it is nice to have a car, whether you rent one. I guess you could Uber. It might be a little long of an Uber, but we were also thankful to have a car because it was easy to drive over to Charleston. We drove over and did one of the horse and carriage rides. I'll link to the one we did in the show notes. That was really sweet. It was just all about the history of Charleston. So we were able to see a lot of it. I loved it. But our kids did get a little bored by the end. They were like, when are we getting off this carriage tour? I appreciated the history. I maybe would do that without kids if possible. And then we walked King Street and we ate at Leon's Oyster Shop because we had read it was awesome. It was delish. There was a long wait. They didn't take reservations. But that was a cool spot. So are there any restaurants that you guys like love or try to hit up when you go in Charleston?
Yes, for sure. So Magnolia's is one of my favorites. We usually do that for lunch, and all of their food is delicious, but I go specifically for the fried green tomatoes. I'm not even a big fried green tomatoes kind of person, but these are out of this world. I won't even order them anywhere else because it's going to be a letdown because
Oh
theirs are
my
so good.
gosh. Okay,
On the
noted. Magnolia fried green tomatoes. That I'm putting that on my
yeah.
list.
So it's like the tomatoes are on like smoked Gouda grits, and then it has some sort of like tomato butter puree sauce situation, and there's like some ham in between each piece of the fried green tomatoes. It's just next level.
What
So
is the restaurant like? Like, is it chill? Is it fancy?
um, I would say for lunch it's pretty chill. It is like a white tablecloth kind of experience, but again, I don't feel like it feels stuffy. For lunch, you can definitely, I wouldn't wear maybe athletic clothes, but you can
Like
get
me.
no, I didn't mean it like that. But like I wouldn't wear like a cut off shirt or something like that if I was a
Yeah.
guy, but you can definitely just wear like jean shorts and like a nice top is easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
We usually end up at Snob a lot for dinner.
How do you spell that?
Um, it's SNOB.
Okay.
It's an
Talking about the
abbreviation,
vibe.
right? It's actually an abbreviation for slightly north of Broad.
Okay, cute.
And it's local to there, owned by the Halls Group. We actually got a Halls Steakhouse here in Nashville a couple years ago, but it's the same group.
Okay. Is it a steakhouse? Snob?
I wouldn't say it's a steakhouse, but it's just like an all
Nice.
yeah seafood. It probably leans a little bit more towards seafood, but they have steaks and things like that as well. Yeah, it's delicious.
Yum. Okay. Anywhere else that you have to hit up when you go?
Those are like my two main. I really like Acme Low Country. We have an Acme here in Nashville, and I was like, is this like the same thing? Like, what is this? It's not. It's completely different. But it's so good. Very very laid back, but the food is out of this world. Definitely see. It's mostly seafood. It's oh my gosh, it's so delicious.
Yeah, I remember that one coming up when I was doing my research. So we didn't get a chance to stop at it, but I remember seeing that that was like a definite hotspot.
And all three of those places take reservations, so I usually try to do that just so we don't. Because I hate waiting. Like when I'm hungry, like I want to eat. I don't want to wait an hour.
Yes, yes. Are there any hotels that you specifically love in downtown Charleston? Just since I feel like you've been a lot, because I would, if I went back with my husband, I might stay on Isle of Palms, but I might want to stay in one of the like
Mhm.
cool Charleston swanky hotels.
It's the Vindu. That one is nice and it has a nice rooftop pool and bar area.
Vindu, Vindu.
Endue.
Oh, cool. Awesome. And then do you like do a lot of shopping? Do you do the King Street thing or is it like too much? You've done it enough times?
Yeah, I've done it a couple of times and like it's cool, but after that it's like, eh.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's beautiful, you know. All of those shops are gorgeous, and it's you like you have to do it at least once.
Yeah. Definitely. I know. I want to go back. Um, so obviously restaurants in Charleston are incredible, like we were talking about, but there are also some great spots on Isle of Palm. Have you tried any restaurants on Isle of Palm that you feel like are worth mentioning?
So I haven't tried it, but I'll keep wanting to go to the Islander 47. That's
71. We went
71.
there.
Did
Yeah.
you go? Was it
Islander
good?
71. Yeah. So we stopped by Islander 71 fish, sorry, Islander 71 Fish House one
Hmm.
night. And it's like, it's great for a group. It's huge. There's live music outside. There's a big grassy turf area with bags games going on, room to run around. There's a bar outside. It's huge
Hmm.
inside. It was really good food. We loved it. Like I would definitely recommend it and go back. So, again, that's a bit of a not like a long drive, but it was nice to have a car to drive over there from Wild Dunes Resort and just
Yeah.
kind of set up shop there for the night. So I really liked Islander 71 Fish House.
Okay, we'll have to add that to the list. I feel like it's always like, oh, I really want to go here. I want to go here. There's like not enough time.
Yes.
So Acme's on Isle of Palm, so definitely Acme Low Country. I would definitely recommend that. And then there's one. It is called, I think it's Saltwater Cowboy. The food's okay. I wouldn't say that it's out of this world, but like I would go back. But it's really cute inside. Good photo
Okay.
opportunities.
Okay, cute. Instagram worthy.
Absolutely. And then like a kind of a hole in the wall place. It's called the Dingy. It's it's just like kind of a hole in the wall bar. We popped in there because we had some time to kill before we were on to our next thing, and it they have we didn't eat, but we have food, and everybody was ordering food, so I feel like it must be like pretty good bar food, and it felt like people were popping in after work, like they had called in an order and they were popping in after work to grab their order. So it seemed like maybe like a local spot, which I was surprised. I didn't think that it would be. So.
Cool. That sounds fun. There's another barrier island right there as well called Sullivan's Island that we had been recommended to spend some time there, hit up some places there, but we ran out of time and didn't really. Have you spent any time exploring Sullivan's Island?
Yeah, so Poe's Tavern is really cute. It's like Edgar Allan Poe. It's always packed. Parking's kind of difficult there, but it's cute. The Obstinate Daughters are really great restaurant. It's probably not as kid friendly because their menu's a little more eclectic, but that one's a good one to add to the list. The Obstinate Daughter.
The Pose
Uh,
one, is that like, I don't know why Edgar Allan Poe just made me think coffee shop, but is it like a restaurant and bar or is it like a chill coffee shop?
it's like a bar coffee shop kind of thing.
Okay, that's what I was envisioning.
And then like over in Shims Creek, there's Red's Ice House. I feel like that's a staple. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of a food snob.
I am
Um,
too. It's okay.
like it's like I would like. I'm not saying I wouldn't go, right? But because it's like again, it's one of the places to hit up.
Where is this one?
I think that one's in Shims Creek.
But where's Shims Creek? I don't even know where. Is that on one of the islands or is that
Yeah,
over?
it's over in that area.
Okay.
But yeah, so that one's it's a fun one. It's like it has a good vibe, I would say. It's like a little more fun, laid back on the water.
Is there anything else about Wild Dunes or Isle of Palms that you had taken note of that you wanted to share about that we didn't touch on?
I would just say definitely look into there's so many options for where to stay, whether you do a private house, townhouse kind of thing, or if you stay in one of the hotels. So just look into those to see what's going to fit what you're going for your trip. Oh, we didn't really talk about parking at the resort. So they do have a parking lot that's first come first serve. I feel like it stays pretty full. We usually do the valet parking at the hotel. I want to say it's like $30 or $40 a night, but it's so nice to just be able to call down and be like, hey, we're headed down. Can you grab our vehicle? So we don't have to go hunt for it and it's right there.
Yes. When we stayed at the beach house or the beach condo area, it came with a parking spot. So that was kind of nice. I'm sure they bake it into the price of it, but there were like two parking spots right out front. So that was
Mhm.
nice because our car was like literally right there all the time. Do you have your next trip to Wild Dunes already booked?
We'll probably be booking in the next few months because we go every mid-May.
Nice. I end every episode with if someone out there is considering a trip to Isle of Palms, what is it about Wild Dunes Resort that would make you say, just book it?
You can easily go into Charleston for anything that you want to see or eat, but you don't have to leave the resort. That to me is awesome. You're going to feel at home and feel like you live there for the week. And like, what better way to feel like you're on vacation? I belong here and I should buy a place here. I look at real estate every time I'm there because I'm like, we should live here.
Absolutely. Second home, Isle of Palms. What a
Yeah.
dream. Well, thank you so much for being here, Tiffany. This was so helpful. And I hope some people really do look into Wild Dunes Resort because we had such a magical trip there. And this episode is making me want to book it again.
I may be booking mine this weekend instead of waiting. So I'm so excited already.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you too. Thanks for having me.
That wraps up another episode of Trip Tales. If you have a trip you'd like to share about on the podcast, email me at triptalespodcast@gmail.com and I'll add you to the schedule. Also, be sure to follow the show so that you don't miss any upcoming vacation destinations. And if you have an extra minute in your day, please leave a review for the podcast. It helps more than you could imagine. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next episode of Trip Tales.